Hello, 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 Swifties, and welcome back to another episode of For the Love of Drag. It's your girl, Astala Vista, a.k.a. Taylor Thrift.
And I'm not exactly Travis Kelce, but I'm Jimmy Boone.
And we are going to be your hostesses with the most asses. Yes! And today, when I say most asses, I actually mean Jimmy over me because I have no padding on today. I am serving natural Taylor booty realness, but Jimmy's got those...
I've got knee, I've got shin, I've got hip.
What's the name of those things? There's a name in the football world.
Football pants.
Football pants, yeah.
That's what I call them.
Not cleats.
No, cleats are your shoes.
Okay, I'm trying, guys. I don't know football too
pants.
well. But that's okay because I do know a lot about Taylor Swift, and that is what we are here to talk about today. The icon, the legend, the diva, Miss T. Swift. So before we hop into this full episode, which is going to be literally all Taylor-based, there is one other diva who Taylor loves herself. That just is
an icon for her, if you will.
Literally, like Taylor looks up to this diva. Her name is Miss Beyoncé, and she just released a whiskey called Sir Davis, which we have here today. Now, if you are a Swiftie like I am, you know Taylor is a big whiskey fan. She makes over like 25 references to whiskey in her songs. She loves her whiskey. At bars, you see her either sipping whiskey or champagne. And today, I felt like since I'm serving the Taylor fantasy right now, it would be only appropriate to try my icon's whiskey, Miss Beyoncé's Sir Davis whiskey.
Absolutely.
So Evan was a doll, and he has an off-camera pour for us ready. So Evan, can we get that whiskey, please? Oh, thank you so much. So this just came out about a week ago.
On her birthday?
On her birthday, and I am very, very excited because obviously Taylor is a whiskey connoisseur, but so is Miss Astala Vista.
Absolutely.
Okay, I love my whiskey, so I want to give this a little honest taste test right now, a little honest review of Sir Davis. So cheers, Travis. Let's see what we think. Ooh, it's enchanting. I wasn't ready for it.
Neither was I because I'm wearing a helmet. That's okay. It's delicious.
Yeah, all jokes aside, this is smooth. This is fabulous. Also, as a fan of the number 13, I love that Beyoncé used her number for the ABV, 44%.
44%, yep.
Kind of living for that. Let me get another sip.
Well.
Ooh, it's classy. It's rich. It's luxurious. A 19.89 out of 20.
It is so good.
And that's really, really good.
All right. Smooth, buttery, velvety.
Now that we have basically used Beyoncé to feed our alcohol addiction, let's get back into the reason we are here, Miss Taylor Swift. So sorry, Sir Davis, but you're going to have to pop over here. And right now, we've got to bring this bucket back to the stage. There we go. So let's talk right now that we've got our whiskey in hand, about our first experience finding out who Taylor Swift was. We kind of got to live through the beginning. I mean, a lot of these younger girls, 13, 14 years old, they've already seen Taylor as this icon because she existed before they were around. We kind of watched the whole entire story build. So what was your first experience with who Taylor Swift was? Where'd you hear about her first?
Yeah, so as you were saying, we kind of like watched her grow up. She's born 1989. I was born 1990, so we're essentially the same age. But my first memory of or recollection of learning about Taylor was hearing her Teardrops on My Guitar song on the radio. Okay. I think the Tim McGraw song came out before that one. I don't remember ever actually hearing that one on the radio personally. But once that Teardrops on My Guitar song came out, I remember hearing that one. As an angsty teenager, I remember one of the lyrics is like, Drew looks at me or whatever. And I had a high school crush whose name was Andrew. And I remember like applying that to my life, of course, because straight boy, me being
you were
having a
her
crush.
literally target audience.
Yep.
You better
Literally.
work. Okay, so I actually did not have that experience. I did not know Teardrops on My Guitar until way later. I don't remember the first song I heard. I believe it was something from Fearless.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly
Fearless
what it was.
is her second or third?
That is her second album.
Okay.
I don't remember what the song was, but that was when I like first heard about her, and I was like, oh, it's like this like country-esque girl.
Yeah.
I didn't have any real feelings towards her at the time. I think my first experience finding out like who is Taylor Swift was that Kanye moment. That was when I first started caring. I didn't really know too much beforehand. Sang her songs on the radio, you know what I mean? But like I didn't know who she was. It was kind of like Tate McRae right now, where like I like Tate McRae, but like I don't follow Tate McRae deeply. I just know she's got some good, very that. So I liked her, but I didn't really know too much more. And then obviously it just slowly started to develop from there. She kind of was here, there. You were hearing about her. Before you knew it, she took over the entire world.
Yeah.
But that was my first experience.
Yeah. And then I remember just watching her kind of blossom from that moment with Kanye, and then Beyonce kind of giving her the stage, so to speak, when she won her award.
I was a big Beyonce fan at that time already, so that was like what I thought was amazing. I was like, wow, Beyonce just really is this icon. She is this legend. Like,
and that was the beginning of her solo career too, so she gave her that moment completely. And then I just remember kind of watching her like skyrocket from there. From that point on, that's kind of when she, at least from my point of view, not necessarily stopped country, but like pulled back from country, and everything started to sound a little bit more pop, a little more like top 40 friendly.
Like, pop realm.
Yep.
Yeah, it was literally like the Kanye moment and then just the boyfriend. You would always see in the tabloids like this boyfriend, that boyfriend, but other than that, I didn't really know too much. And then suddenly I know everything.
Literally. And Taylor is one of those artists who I don't think there's many of them around. I feel like it's more of like an old school kind of a vibe, but like everything she does is intentional. That's kind of the thing that I've grown to love about her. I don't necessarily love every single Taylor Swift song that is released, but she is such a genius, both musically and in like a business and in a marketing standpoint. Yep. So just like watching those avenues of her, I think you know a little bit more about some of the like little Easter egg things and stuff that she'll do, like as she's doing an album release.
Is good for an Easter egg.
What are some of those examples?
I mean, the last album, I believe, she literally had different codes like QR codes, pop throughout cities throughout the world. That literally each one, I forget if it was a word or a letter, and like the Swiftie fandom is crazy, and they put it together quickly. But like you had that's how she does her marketing. You literally have to like go online, and things just start to get talked about, and it starts to grow in the community. And it's kind of like I don't know how to describe it. They're a little insane, I'll be honest. Like the Taylor Swift Twitter community, we come up with some conspiracies. I'll be very honest. We have thought they were releasing Rep TV for the last 2 years at this point now. But like it's fun. It keeps it engaging because we're all kids at heart. You know what I mean? It's like we're playing a game with our favorite celebrities.
It's like a mini treasure hunt.
It's like a little mini treasure hunt. So she always does little things like that. There'll be a random like link, and then it'll have a web page at the bottom of the web page, or you'll go into like the coding of the page, and it'll have something like just psychotic things that keep you entertained.
And didn't she do something at like an award show where she was like accepting something and she went like this or something, and that meant like
she
there's
had
2 albums coming?
I believe it was a necklace on that was pointing to 2 o'clock instead of midnight.
Gotcha.
And the whole piece thing was the 2. It was a 2-part album for TTPD.
Just everything is literally intentional, and like she knows exactly what she's doing when she's doing it. Calculated.
Now let's talk about when we fell in love with Taylor Swift. Okay, because obviously like when I discovered her with Kanye, and you were listening to, what was the song?
Teardrops on My
Guitar. Like that wasn't when we fell in love with her. When was the moment when it was like, oh wow, this diva is in the like, she's in the club, she's in the Madonna, she's in the Chers, the Britneys, the Christinas. Like when did you feel that?
I don't know when I felt that, but I do want to backtrack for 1 second, because there was another song back in the day. I don't know if you remember it, but Love Story. Do you remember when that song came out?
Honestly, Love Story could have been the one for me.
It might have been.
That might have been the one for me.
I think that was Fearless, wasn't it?
Yeah, that might have been the one
so that
for me.
one, it was on the soundtrack to some movie. I forget what it was. But that was one of those radio songs that like they just played over and over.
Yeah, I was like, I probably loved that song. I was like, oh, it's Taylor Swift, but like, I didn't really know who she was.
Such a sweet story, the whole Romeo Save Me thing, yada, yada, yada. So that to me is when she kind of like, ooh, this may be controversial, but left the Tate McCready or whatever her name is club and joined the Sabrina Carpenter club, if that makes sense.
Oh, that early on.
Yes, that's where she did that to me. She was always like that singer-songwriter vibe, so you could tell she had some like chops behind her, and she wasn't going to be going anywhere. But as far as the like diva status,
I mean, I remember singing songs from Red, like 22. I loved 22, but I still didn't consider her at that point like a thing. Like I didn't know that like she was this thing.
No.
I was like, oh, I like her songs, but like I didn't look at her as this like superstar celebrity yet.
No, I completely agree.
She wasn't my Britney.
No. And I think she took a lot of the critiques that she gotten over the years and kind of forced herself to adapt and grow and become an icon.
And I think that is what people love, the journey, because you see that the journey, as planned as everything she does is, none of it was planned.
No,
Reputation came out,
Yep.
not premeditated.
Yep.
Exactly. Like nothing was premeditated. She took what happened to her in life and then planned an album and a whole era based around that.
Literally, her album releases are basically like a snapshot of what happened like 2 years ago.
Literally.
She's like 2 years behind on like releasing what happened in life. But back to your original question, which you actually asked me. When she became an icon, I guess that would probably be at least to me, the like whole Eras Tour concept when she released that. I think it was only meant to go to maybe 20 or something cities. I don't know the exact number, but then that sold out almost instantaneously. Yep. And then it became this like global world tour that also sold out instantaneously. So to me, that's when she became the icon. How about for you?
Yeah, I would say like before the Eras Tour film, maybe like a year or two before that, I really did like Taylor Swift a lot. And like I loved her songs, but I didn't know which songs went to which era. I wasn't super deep and invested,
sure,
but I did consider her like one of the girls now. Once I did see the Eras Tour movie, we went together, obviously. Yep. That was when I put her on top of everybody else. It was obvious at that point that like there was no games to be played. She is the diva. She has thought of everything. Oh, she can't dance? Well, here's choreography the entire time. Oh, her costumes suck? Well, here's a literal costume for every single era in different colors, different night. Like, that is when I was like, okay, she is the one. She is the girl.
She is working. And
she is working.
I know. I think her ticket prices got a little like crazy with like StubHub or whatever, but like she does not charge that much herself.
Didn't she like break Ticketmaster or something?
Yeah, like I don't even know what that was. I remember she got all pissed off and was saying like, this is why I literally do everything myself, because you can't trust these companies to like, do whatever.
I mean, let's be real. We tried to get tickets ourselves and we couldn't get them. And then by the time we could get them, they were resold on another site for $5,000 and your left leg.
It was $5,000 your left leg, and then you were still seated like behind the stage.
Yep.
And you might be able to get to see her on the TV, but you're not actually seeing the actual Taylor Swift.
Very, very.
Luckily, a lot of the people on TikTok and whatever have been streaming the Eras Tour, and we do get to see it a little bit.
I am one of the crazies. When I know I was just talking about those crazies on Twitter, those crazy Swiftie fans, and I might be one of them. I might have watched the live streams for all of her international concerts. I might have a spreadsheet of all of the outfits that she wore at different shows. I might be a little crazy myself, but what is drag if not a little crazy?
I was going to say, let's be honest. You watching Taylor Swift concerts on YouTube or TikTok is the least demonstration of how crazy you are.
That's true.
You have, over the past year and a half, basically turned yourself into a living Taylor Swift doll.
Girl, I know it's getting bad. I've spent a lot of money on her costumes.
This is a topic. So before we get into Taylor Swift drag and your costuming that you've created over the past couple of years, let's take a little break, and then we'll come back with some Taylor drag.
All right, let's take a break, lather, rinse, refresh, and dive into it.
I love it. All right, we'll be right back after this. And welcome back to For the Love of Drag Pod. I am here with the fabulous Astala Vista, who also refers to herself as Taylor Thrift. And we were just about to discuss some of Astala's fabulous Taylor Swift drag costumes before we went to break. And as you may have noticed, we have added a lovely addition to our set here today, the 1989 costume from the Eras Tour, correct?
So, yes. So before we even talk about this beauty, you did good. Before we talk about her, let me start talking, though, about, like, when I first started performing Taylor Swift. Let's do the evolution of costumes.
There was a journey, for sure.
There was a journey. So, the first performance I ever did as Taylor Swift, it was a Kanye number where I pretty much, like, performed, I think, our song or something off
you came out to, like, old school Taylor.
With a guitar. And what I was wearing, actually, it was this hideous denim jean, like circle skirt with a plaid shirt underneath of it. And I actually used it for a Miley Cyrus number back in the day when I would transform from like Hannah Montana into like crazy Miley. But I was like, Taylor Swift, I don't need to get anything new made. I'll just reuse this for right now. So I used that at first with a gold dress that I made myself. I made both these costumes actually. But the gold dress was just some random gold dress.
That one with
it was the one that you could do the thing. And I was like, oh, this kind of looks like her Fearless dress. Yeah. Not at all. Not even similar. But that was my first Taylor Swift costume. I think the hair was just a regular blonde wig, platinum blonde wig, teased and styled. I looked nothing like Taylor Swift. But in all reality, that wasn't the goal at the time. It was more or less to just bring comedy, make some fun of Taylor Swift. I slowly did start to realize I wanted to do a little more impersonation as I really fell in love with her. And that is when I started to get costumes together.
And at that time, too, I don't think Taylor really had a lot of these, like, Eras Tour looks and everything like that. She was
like, limited on her iconic look. Yeah, she was. Yeah. She was definitely limited. But once I kind of realized, like, all right, I want to get some impersonations together and really start doing the thing. The first one I got, I loved the You Need to Calm Down outfit. If you've never seen it before, you could check it on my Instagram, or maybe we'll have Evan put up a little picture. But it's basically like a 1950s style pink bikini with a fur jacket over top, a little updo moment, these glasses that I actually got the exact same glasses and the exact same rhinestones. The designer who did Taylor Swift's glasses in that video They got their rhinestones from Amazon. I'm going to tell you right that they were the craziest shaped rhinestone you've ever seen.
They're little flowers, right?
Like little flowers, and I dug and dug and dug on Amazon, and I found them. So that was my first look that I ever made for Taylor. But after that, I realized like this hair is kind of a little more iconic, so I wanted to kind of start leaning into the looks with the banged hair, and that was right around the time that all of these Eras Tour looks were coming out. So I was like, oh, perfect time. This is a huge tour. It's worth investing. People will know these costumes. So the first one I did was actually, funny enough, a Sheen dress that was about $20. It was a Fearless replica from like
fringe.
her from like her Fearless days. It was a replica. Got that really cheap. I realized I want to upgrade again. So the second one I got was actually this costume. This was a Forever 21 dress, I believe. One of those like online retailers, and then actually Jolena Jasmine, one of my friends from Asbury Park, she's a queen from Asbury Park, she had this jacket at a show, and I said, oh my God, I'm doing my first like big Taylor show coming up next week. Can I buy this off you? And she was like, sure.
I think you actually first asked where she got it.
I asked her where she got it. Yeah, she's like, Fashion Nova. And then I was like, okay, I really need it. It's not going to ship in time. Is there any way I can like buy it off you? And she's like, yeah. And she gave me a $20 discount. $40 I bought this jacket, and this was my second costume. But once again, I still wasn't like dedicating the time to really, really make them, do the detail work, do everything until this baby right over here.
Mary.
So this was the first Taylor costume that I wanted to do full replica. I wanted to make it myself. I wanted to put all of the effort in. So what I did is I researched the designer that made her costume, and I went on their Instagram and I looked at the exact rhinestones they used, the color they used, the tassels they used, the tassel teardrop beads at the end, and I literally replicated her 1989 costume. Now, when I say I don't mean because this took a full village. I believe it was over 1,000 hours of work total.
1,000 hours,
I believe the cost of the rhinestones, the fabric, the shoes, and everything, it ended up being over $2,000. It was the most I've ever spent on any costume in my entire life. Still paying it off in Klarna payments of $49.99. But together, me, Jimmy, and Sarah, we worked our little booties off, hand sewing every single tassel, every single rhinestone, every single bead on ourselves, and we have an exact replica of the 1989 costume here.
And I'm just going to break down what that means, because I did not know what that meant when you asked me.
I don't think I knew what it meant.
To
I knew what it meant.
helping make this thing. Okay, so what she means by that is, do you see each one of these little like silverish looking things here? Each one of those is an individual piece. So that was, this one was sewn on, then this one was sewn on, then this one was sewn on, so on and so forth a bajillion times. Next, then we have all these little bluish, whitish little stones that are everywhere. How many thousands?
I don't know. I don't want to relive it again.
Each pack was 1,800, right?
Yeah.
And we bought
a lot.
Was it 80?
At least.
Okay, so I don't do math anymore, but 80 times 1,800, whatever that is, that many stones. Then you're going to take these. Say what, Evan? 144,000. That's a lot. And then you're going to take these little tassel thingies here, right? You see these? You don't just buy these little tassels. This isn't like a thing you buy. Each tassel has, I don't know, 20, 30 little micro beads that you can barely even see.
That was the real torture. We forgot about these X's.
That's the first thing I talked about, the little clear beads. Yeah. And then these little tassels here. So each one has like 20, 30 little micro beads that you can barely tell the difference. And then this cute little teardrop one on here. So do you know how these are created? You take a piece of string and then you put each one of these little micro beads on it, and then you put this little thing at the end to lock it in there. And then you're not done. No, you're not done. Then you have to sew it onto the fucking garment. On the garment. They don't just boop right on there.
Listen, I don't want sympathy. I just want you to tell me how pretty it is. Okay, that is it. That is it.
The week before this thing was ready to be on stage, we woke up almost every single day at about 4:30 in the morning to just come downstairs to this table where this thing lived, and we would just hand sew each. Oh, and that's the other thing too. Each one of these little stones has 4 little holes in it, and each hole you have to put the thread through to get it onto the thing. So 1,000 hours. 1,000 hours. Yeah, I'm done my rant now.
I was like, damn, you went off, sis. I thought I was angry.
No,
damn.
People don't understand. They don't understand.
But yes, this was clearly a labor of love. I'm so glad I did it. Little pissed at Taylor Swift that the week after, on the UK leg of her tour, she did a brand new 1989 costume after wearing this for the whole USA tour. She's like, we're going to do a circle skirt now and a quick little bra that I could have whipped up in 45 minutes. Obviously, this was one of the first costumes that I put in lots and lots of love, but after that, I wanted to do the Reputation costume, which is the snake one she's famous for. So I found a designer on Etsy who slaughtered that one, and since then, I think I've everything except Speak Now, Folklore, and Evermore when it comes to her.
The purple? What's the purple one?
Speak Now.
That's Speak Now. Okay.
Speak Now. So
yeah.
Speak Now, Evermore,
You
and
have a
Folklore.
Tortured Poets even? Yeah.
Yep, I got Tortured Poets.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they'll be in the works. I do love Folklore and Evermore, but they're a little slow. I don't quite vibe with them as like performing. So maybe down the line one day. But
She even combined the two in the second leg, right?
Yes. But technically too, I guess I need a debut look, right?
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Right?
I
mean,
guess
that
you don't
counts,
technically
right?
have one. Well, we're supposed to get a Taylor's version of that eventually.
I'm sure we will.
too.
We'll worry about that then. But
one thing that we have not touched on that I do want to touch on, back to Taylor just being the business bitch that she is the whole philosophy of these Taylor's version albums. So the story behind that, to anybody that doesn't know why she just keeps re-releasing quote unquote the same music over and over again, it's her management company or whatever it was, Scooter Braun, ended up selling her the rights to her music, and she no longer owned the masters nor could make any money off of however many albums it was at the time. So I think it was Kelly Clarkson actually who
Miss Kelly Clarkson
who tweeted one day that Taylor should just re-record all of the albums under her own record label, blah 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 blah. And since then, that has been a huge part of why she has become the billionaire status diva that she is today. It allows her to own all the rights to all of her own music that she lost in this crazy business deal, and it gives like the fans a whole new like second hype for all of this music. Like this is music that came out when we were kids.
Yep.
So like now we are like, oh my god, this is like, coming out again. Woo! Can't wait.
That's why all the Swifties are going crazy, because we are so ready for Reputation, because we all live and scream those songs, and we cannot wait for that to be re-released.
That's like her big like bad bitch album.
That's the
right?
Bad Bitch album.
Yep, we live.
But anyway, obviously everybody listening to this podcast, I shouldn't say everybody, but most people listening to this podcast are probably Swifties and probably know a lot about Taylor Swift. If you're listening to a Taylor Swift podcast, you probably know a little bit about her. But just in case you stumbled upon this podcast and you've lasted this long and you don't know too much about Taylor Swift, there is a children's book called Little People, Big Dreams, Taylor Swift, that I read at some of these storybook times I do. And this is a really quick read that will give you a little insight on what an icon Miss Taylor Swift is. So, starting Little People, Big Dreams, Taylor Swift, with nails on. Whew, we got it. All right, guys, so this is Little People, Big Dreams, Taylor Swift edition, and I'm going to start by handing over this book to Travis Kelce, because this Taylor Swift wears nails, so she cannot flip the pages. So I have read this before at a couple storybook times, and it's a really, really great quick read to just find out some of the iconic things she has done in her career and how she got started. So on a farm in Pennsylvania, surrounded by Christmas trees, lived a girl named Taylor. She believed in unicorns and fairy tales, but most of all, she believed in the power of songs to tell stories and change the world. Her grandmother was an opera singer, and her parents were also music lovers. One day, her mom and dad took her to a country music concert. Taylor was moved by the sound and the way the artist shared her feelings throughout her songs. Soon, she was dragging her parents to country fairs, festivals, and karaoke contests, jumping on stage to sing whenever she had the chance. She also took singing and acting lessons and enjoyed performing in local musicals. Yet, school was a lonely place for Taylor. Most students didn't think cowboy music was cool, and a few of them made fun of her cowboy boots. But even though people weren't always there for her, music was, and she kept pursuing her dream. Taylor was 11 when she sang and recorded cover versions of her most beloved songs, pouring her heart into every tune. She took her demo to Nashville, the home of country music. There, she realized that to stand out, she needed to find her own voice. Fun fact, we went to Nashville on a little Taylor Swift / Jersey Shore binge. We'll tell you all about that after this. Back home, Taylor learned to play the guitar and began writing songs inspired by her own life. The first was called Lucky You. It was about a little girl with a big heart. Soon, her head was full of more rhymes, melodies, and lyrics. After being spotted at one of her gigs, Taylor recorded her very first album for a record label. She became the youngest person to ever write and perform a #1 country song. It was honest, smart, and funny. Everyone loved it. By her 20th birthday, she had released her second album, Fearless. It won her 4 Grammys, the most prestigious music awards. Taylor's parents were so proud. Her journey to becoming a megastar had just begun. Taylor continued to grow up alongside her fans. She loved to include hidden messages for them in her lyrics and music videos. Before the release of her 5th album, 1989, she invited groups of 89 of them to listen to it and eat cookies at her house. That is a boss right there. Before the fans got too crazy, she was doing that kind of stuff. But living in the spotlight can be tough. There was always someone ready to criticize her no matter what she did. It took time for Taylor to learn that the only approval she needed was her own. And once she did, she stood up stronger than ever. She made pop, rock, electronic, and folk music. Yet she also found time to tour the world, direct her own music videos, speak up for what she believed in, and care for Meredith Grey, Olivia Benson, and Benjamin Button, her cats. Also, if you've never watched her music videos, money, iconic. Check out The Man. She does a full drag transformation. It's a gag. Anyway, almost 20 years after writing her first song, Taylor made history as the first artist to hold all top 10 spots on the biggest U.S. music chart. But while her list of records and awards kept growing, being a kind person was still her main goal. And Taylor, the little girl who believed in fairy tales, keeps achieving even her wildest dreams. She is one of the greatest artists of her generation and a friend to millions of fans who feel her music tells the story of their own lives. The end. So just a little insight, if you did not know what an icon she is, now you know. But I mean, there is so much more than just that. Let's be real. Let's talk right now about our trip to Nashville.
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun.
So we got to go to the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And she has her own pretty much like
Wing
in there. But we did our research, and from what we found out, she apparently had to like pay and work her booty off to get in that wing. What we noticed when we went to Nashville is for some reason, I don't know if it's jealousy, I don't know what it is. Nashville does not really seem to like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I think it's a sense of feeling like she sold out because she went the more pop route rather than country, which I don't know.
Yeah,
why she can't
it was
be
a
doing
little
both,
bit
but whatever.
nasty when we went there. I felt a vibe. First thing I noticed, there was not one piece of Taylor Swift merchandise anywhere whatsoever, not one piece. The only piece we found was a duck. It was a duck that had the shirt she wears for her Red album, and it said something like duck related on it. Other than that, there was not one item there. Second thing we found out, there is a mural of all of the country stars, all that came out of
like
Nashville,
Dolly,
Tennessee.
Garth Brooks,
all of them on this fierce mural. And a couple years back, Taylor Swift was on this mural. They literally painted over Taylor Swift and covered her with some guy. I forget what his name was. But they literally took her off after she released 1989. So that was nasty. Then we found out the Country Music Hall of Fame thing. She literally had to pay for her own wing.
It was the wing sponsored by Taylor Swift.
It was like the wing sponsored by Taylor Swift. So I was like, okay, that was a little nasty. Then one more ding, which maybe this was just the karaoke bar. I don't know. We went to a karaoke bar, and let me tell you, I was ready to sing some Taylor Swift, and I wasn't going to torture him. I wasn't going to do Tortured Poets Department.
I think we're going to do Love Story.
Or 1989. I knew where I was at. I said, let's give him some country. Going to do some Love Story. Bitch, when I tell you they skipped right over me on that karaoke, like, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
I can verify. It's true.
I did get to ride a bull, which was very fun, but I was a little upset by that. We actually went to that place because they went on the Jersey Shore, right?
On Jersey Shore family vacation. That was one of the vacations they took, was to Nashville, and we basically kind of recreated what they did. We ate the hot chicken. We went to all the bars. We did the bull riding.
We did try to go to the book we were just reading, that bar that Taylor Swift, it's not actually a bar, it's more of like a cabaret that Taylor Swift got discovered in Nashville. The reservations were sold out, but we really were trying to go there. Apparently, it's this like 40-person cabaret. I'm going to say the name wrong. The Bluebird, the Blue Swan, something like that. And that is where Taylor Swift got discovered. So we really wanted to go there, but it sells out that quickly because it's such a small venue.
It's like where the next up-and-coming country star is going to be performing pretty much.
But Nashville was an incredible city for music. We're not the biggest country music fans, but you vibe there.
Yeah, it was a great time. I went to it a little bit apprehensive because I'm not the biggest country music fan, and by an hour in, you're like, oh, this is actually kind of fun.
Like, this is amazing, right?
Yeah. So beyond the Country Music Hall of Fame, beyond all of her musical success, Taylor has also gotten a lot of notoriety for her dating history.
Yes. So obviously, Travis, we are very, very happy together.
Yes.
But
it's been a journey from what I've heard.
It's been quite a journey. So before I would love to go over some of my exes really quickly. You know,
nothing would make me happier.
That's what I figured, right? So obviously, Taylor does have quite a love history, but that love history has created some of her most epic hits. So I'm going to give you a quick little journey right now on some of the people she has dated before. One of her first big high-profile boyfriends was Joe Jonas. That was from July 2008 to October 2008. That is where we got Forever and Always from, so snap, snap, snaps. Next, I'm going to be very, very honest. From March 2009 to April 2009, which was a month, she dated Lucas Till. I don't know who the fuck Lucas Till is.
Never heard of him.
So till death do you part, and clearly they parted. In fall 2009, this was a pretty iconic one. That is when she dated Taylor Lautner. So, fun fact, they actually did a movie together called Valentine's Day. Obviously, it didn't end in a love relationship. They're not together anymore. But we did get the song Back to December. And they're actually still very cool. So Taylor Lautner is dating another girl named Taylor, and they literally have done...
And isn't she a Swiftie?
She's a
crazy
Swiftie,
right?
They have done the photo, the Spider-Man photo, where they're all pointing at each other. So I live.
Yep.
I kind of live for that. That's iconic. Then from December 2009 to February 2010, we have John Mayer, who we got Dear John and The Story of Us from. So I got to give
There's a little bit of an age gap there, too,
a little bit of an age gap there. Was this the artist that she was singing about when she was like, you're supposed to have fun, but we're only 21?
No, that's All Too Well.
That's all. Oh, that's Jake Gyllenhaal. Okay, fair. You're so right. Just kidding. Take that one back. Anyway, speaking of Jake Gyllenhaal, you're really good. It was the exact same timeline, I guess. October 2010 to January 2010, that is when she dated Jake Gyllenhaal, which the song I was just singing is All Too Well. There's a 5.5-minute version and then a 10-minute version. Jimmy can rock out to the 10-minute version like it's his job.
That's a Taylor song I know.
He's obsessed, okay? And then we also got We Are Never Getting Back Together, which is a bop everybody loves. After that, from July 2012 to October 2012, Connor Kennedy. Don't really know much about him. Then from November 2012 to January 2013, we had Harry Styles, who gave us 3 of my favorites. We got Out of the Woods. Quite possibly, I'm not going to say favorite Taylor song because I say that for all of them, but top 3 without a doubt.
Love that one,
I love Out of the Woods. Style, and then Is It Over Now? Then that was off the vault, Is It Over Now? February 2015 to May 2016, Calvin Harris. Another one of my faves. We got Getaway Car and Bejeweled. And then I honestly don't know who he is. May 2016 to September 2016, Tom Hiddleston. That went right over the head, over the radar. I did not know him. Loki. Oh, from Marvel.
Things?
Okay, so did not know that one. Good to know. Fun fact right there. May 2017 to April 2023. I know this one all too well. All puns intended. That is Joe Alwyn, who is literally like... so much, like so much. That is an era of her life. It's not just like one album, one song. Some of the songs from Reputation, as well as Lover and So Long London, though, do pertain to Joe Alwyn. But like, that's an era right there. That is, I'm trying to do the math really quickly, a little under 6 years.
Yeah,
right
they were
there.
together for a while.
That's a lot of time.
He was the one that was in that one documentary of her, right?
Yes.
Like they didn't show his face for a while, and then they did.
Joe Alwyn was the one that really didn't want to be like seen. Yeah. He wanted to keep everything very, very, very secret.
Because he's not like actually famous, right? Like he was like
exactly.
more so from being with her.
Exactly. So after they broke up, that is when she was with Matt Healy. There was definitely some controversy there. He's definitely said some things that weren't very appropriate. Luckily, that relationship only lasted from May 2023 to June 2023. Oh. And that is a lot of Tortured Poets Department. I'm sure there's obviously Joe Alwyn on Tortured Poets Department. That was... Tortured Poets Department to me is a mixture of like everything. She's getting it all out, like things that have been like remaining from rep, remaining here, and kind of just put it all out there.
It seemed like a lot of like the wrap up of like her breakup eras.
Very, very that. Like that was the end of it all. She's like, let me just get it all out there. I mean, we had the Kim Kardashian thing on there, which we'll talk about in a second. But last but certainly not least, July 2023 to forever, we've got Travis Kelce. And obviously you've heard So High School and Alchemy on TTPD, the Tortured Poets Department. They are definitely about Travis. But let's talk about the Kim Kardashian moment too, because that is how
She's a boss.
So
not Kim, Taylor.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That is how I knew that Taylor Swift was a shady fierce diva when she released Thank You, Amy, and she did it as Thank You, Amy with Kim capitalized. Yep. Shady as anything. Yep. But it wasn't until she re-released it as a live track from London.
Yep.
And she capitalized instead of Kim being capitalized this time, Ye, like Kanye, Y-E. Yep. So you are the shadiest diva I have ever met in my life.
She is a boss. And she said,
that is only for the super fans.
She said, not only I'm going to read you, I'm going to make money off of it, too.
Literally. So.
And didn't she do it to, like, cockwalk his album, basically?
She did. So that was the first time his album did not ever hit #1 getting released. And
she just had to release, like, one song or whatever.
She's nasty, and I love it. I love a girl with a little spicy attitude. So, yeah, that was definitely like okay, diva, I see you. You're not as sweet as you come off, and I like it. I like the little spice in there. It's like when you, like, get a Sour Patch Kid, and it's sweet, and then it's sour, or is it the other way around? First it's sour,
then it's sweet.
It's like a Sweet Patch Kid then. Reverse it, okay? You know what I meant. You knew what I meant. Oh, anyway, obviously that was a lot of ex-boyfriend talk.
I know.
But I wanted to put you to
Luckily,
the test.
I'm very confident
I
in
know.
myself
I was like,
here.
you're very confident in yourself, especially now with your new look you've got going on, Travis. You're looking like a GQ model with your little mustache, in your Gucci sweater, and your Gucci hat.
That's
we all seen the new photos.
That's me.
But you kind of tried to wreck me, I believe, on our Disney. You tried to wreck me, Travis. Rare. That has more meanings than one. You tried to wreck me on the Disney podcast. So I wanted to now put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
Oh, God.
Okay?
Am I getting tested
so
here?
I've got some trivia for you. Now, these are not going to be trivia questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mention a song. I thought of how I was going to do this. I was like, do I want to mention the era, and you have to tell me a song from the era? And I said, no, I want to make it harder. I'm going to tell you one song, and you have to tell me which era that song is from. All right?
I think I can do this, maybe.
Can you do it? Do you know how many eras there are?
There are 10 to 11.
11 eras.
Okay.
Yes, there are. And I have one song from each era on here.
Okay, so there won't be a repeat, is what you're telling me.
There will not be a repeat. I can tell you that at least.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
I'm gonna give you 5 seconds per song. All right.
You know, I love
starting
pressure.
right now. Let's see how he does. With I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22 is from.
That is from the red one.
The Red era? Yes, it is. That is from Red. Ding, 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 ding. What about one of my favorites? This is why we can't have nice things.
That is from the one that you do. That is the short curly hair in the pink. That is...
Well, the outfit that you're referring to is from a different era than what this is. I'll tell you that.
Oh, well, fuck my drag then. It's not Lover then.
It's definitely not Lover. Doing good. I give you more than 5 seconds. Do you have a final answer?
No, because it was going to be Lover.
It is from, I'm not going to tell you right now because I don't want to eliminate any options for you and make this harder for you.
Okay, just go through them all at the end. Next.
But the song is about Kanye West. Next one is London Boy.
London Boy is about the one you were just talking about, the Antoine one or whatever. Anton saying something.
Okay.
And that one's Lover.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Ding, 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 ding. What about Mean? Why you gotta be so mean?
Well, I thought that one was Lover too, but I guess that's not it. Mean. Oh no, wait, that's an older one.
Yup.
Okay, so that one is going to be Fearless.
Next.
Okay.
All right. Where is Blank Space from?
1989.
I hope so, because you're in my blank space part of my song where you literally come out to blank space.
Oh, okay.
When we do a full 1989 number. What about Cardigan?
Cardigan. Okay, I think that's one of the 2 slow ones. And that is going to be...
It's a 50-50 shot.
Yep. That one's going to be Evermore.
Wrong.
Fuck me.
What about the Great War? And we survived the Great War.
That one is Midnight.
Yes, it is. I was like, come on, we listen to that one together. You know her. How about Cassandra?
That's the other slow one, so Evermore.
Not at all. How about Love Story?
Love Story is Fearless.
Yes, it is. Ding, 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 ding. How about Marjorie?
That's the other slow one. So Evermore.
Yes, look at you using the process of elimination. And last but certainly not least, Picture to Burn.
That is the first one, which we also refer to as Debut.
You are correct. So one more time, 22 is from Red. This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things is from Reputation. London Boys from Lover. Mean is from Speak Now. Blank Space from 1989. Cardigan from Folklore. The Great War is from Midnights. Cassandra is from TTPD. Love Story is from Fearless. Marjorie is from Evermore. And Picture to Burn is from Debut.
All right.
I believe you got about 3 correct.
That's rude.
No, maybe about 4.
I think I was about half.
I'm going to say 4.
I'm half a Swiftie.
We'll rewatch this back and we'll really find out, all right? But you didn't do too bad.
Well, thank you.
I know you know the songs. I know you're not one that knows which song belongs to which era, but you know the songs very well.
I love Taylor more for her soul than for her music.
Oh, I think that's sweet.
Because I'm Travis.
Oh, okay. I was like, where the fuck are we going with that one?
Meaning I'm not a gold digger.
Well, I mean, I'm the one with the money. Let's be real, girl.
I know, but I have my own money. I have like 300 million of my own.
You go play your sports and stuff and do your little thing
and
out there on the field.
And they give me a podcast. I have another podcast, too.
I'll clean you up, as I already have, as you've seen with this new photo. She got him together, I will say.
I seen.
People are like, did you see the photos? It's like Travis Kelce, Taylor's version. I was dying.
She said, no, honey, you're going to do this now.
Oh, no. We need to do this, a little of that. But he looks great. I mean, I love the look. It looks very, very expensive now. Very fancy.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that.
I definitely have grown to love Taylor Swift way more than I ever did maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And to be completely honest with you, I just keep appreciating everything that she does even more. Like I said, I don't necessarily love every single Taylor song, but there's definitely songs from every single album pretty much that I can get behind. And I think she's an amazing artist, especially in a world today where like most of these artists are creating these like 2.5-minute songs to just get a TikTok trend going and yada, yada, yada. So like the fact that there's still like a musician out there. I also love the fact that she does that thing during the Eras tour where she like switches up a few of the songs every single night. And you don't know it necessarily.
Surprise song. She keeps it fun and fresh.
That's just really cool. It's got to be fun for her too. You know what I mean? Doing a 3.5-hour tour that's the same every single night's got to be boring. So switching
she
up.
Needs, as an entertainer, I will say you definitely need to entertain yourself. There's times where I just want to do something different, so I'm entertained by myself. You know what I mean? But I do feel like before we close out this episode, there are 2 questions that we need to answer that are very important to the Swiftie fandom.
Okay.
I think they're going to want to know our favorite era.
Okay.
And I think they're going to want to know our favorite song.
Okay.
It does not have to be from that era. It can be different.
So let's start with our favorite era. What would you say yours is?
All right. If I had to,
you have to pick one because I knew you were going to be that kind of bitch.
I am going to pick one.
If I had to pick so one.
I am going to pick one. And I'm trying to decide whether I'm basing it off just the music or the entire feel and vibe of the era right now. It's obviously for me between 1989 and Reputation. Very, very different vibes you're getting there.
Sure.
I do feel like if I had to pick, I'm at a very like happy, bubbly point in my life. I like happiness, so I would say 1989. I love the bad bitchism of Reputation, but 1989, I can put that on and just like listen to the entire thing through and just be like the happy, bubbly diva that I am.
No, I love that. I would say mine would be between Lover and Midnights, probably, because kind of like what you were just saying, both of those albums, I might not know every song, but I feel like there are albums that you can kind of put on from start to finish and it's like a good little bop session the entire time.
Agreed.
Midnights is a little bit more of like a, I don't say emo, but there's
Midnights
is
more great when you light up a big fatty and you smoke that fatty and you put Midnights on.
Or if I'm just like trying to like focus on like a project or something and just like put something on, that's a very good like background. It's not distracting.
It's not going up, down, all around. It's kind of good. You're chilling on your vibe.
Yep. So now I have to pick one. I think I would say Midnights, honestly, because it does have a couple bops so that you can get up there. And then if you listen to the extended one, there's even more songs. So I'll go Midnights.
Okay, now I need you to give me your favorite song.
Shit. Okay. Favorite song, All Too Well 10-minute version.
All Too Well 10-minute version. Okay.
The fact that it can go on stage for 10.5 minutes, that's actually not 10.5 minutes, it's like 9:45 and then
it repeats fade out at the end, I know.
But
us Swifties, no, we don't talk about it.
It's fine. She's still on there for 10 minutes, it counts. But just the fact that like, again, in an industry where these like 2-minute 45-second songs are the norm, the fact that she has the confidence
is becoming a norm anymore. So girl, calm down.
It's exhausting. So I enjoy that. I see her like inspiration from like the like old school like rock and roll legends of like the 70s and 80s that used to tour for, like crazy. I see her inspiration in doing something like that, so I really appreciate that. What would you say your favorite song is?
So I will give you my two. I know I was just like, yes, happy, bubbly 1989, but two of my favorite songs are a little deeper, and they're both on Tortured Poets Department. Who's Afraid of Little Old Me and I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. They really, really resonate for two different reasons. Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, as an entertainer and a drag queen specifically, there was a lot of just like pushback with doing this. It was very like you're kind of crazy and like you don't really know what you're doing. So like that song is just like the voice inside, like yep. When that comes on, I feel her. And then also I really love I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. I am not dealing with a broken heart. I've not dealt with a broken heart in literally over a decade. But it's just as a performer, that song talks about like you might be dealing with a funeral or a death, or there's so many other ways you can apply that. There's so many other ways you can apply that in life besides just a broken heart, where you still have to go out on that stage and give that audience your everything. And that resonates because there's times where like I have been going through something really, really deep and really, really just like emotionally straining. And then you're like, oh, wait, every other entertainer out in the world has to do the same thing. And it kind of just like humbles and reminds you.
Yeah, yeah. And then she talks about in that song too about like her audience and crowd just like demanding more and more and more of her, as she's sitting there fucking dying.
Yep.
And that is just it's something very.
I really love them.
I
feel those songs, but I would say if I had to pick one, Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? It's long. I am into it. The ups, the downs. It's just like it's a nasty song. That is one where I'm like not trying to like go out and club after. That's one where I like had a bad day and you pop her on.
No, definitely. So I think it is almost time for another round of the lovely Sir Davis whiskey, some whiskey on ice, if you will.
I agree.
But before we head out, would you mind giving it up to the people that make this show possible?
I would be honored. So first things first, we need to give it up right now for the close fam sponsors of the pod. Thank you so much for supporting us, guys. And then in addition to our close fam members, I need to give an extra big special clack shout out, literally, actually, because one of our Call Me Mother sponsors got me this fan. I need to give a big thank you to Barbara Rambo. Hi, Barb. Kathy P., the Drag Fan 27, and last but certainly not least, the reason that I have this fan, and fun fact, they actually noticed that I broke this fan once because I clacked it so hard that they got me another one. That's what we call an icon, everybody.
That's a true fan right there.
But that's a true fan, all puns intended. Barbella Whiskey.
Oh, shit, I didn't think about that.
Look, I'm gonna break it again. I'm throwing this fan. But thank you guys so much for supporting the pod. I did talk about this, I think, like 5 or 6 episodes ago. One thing that we really want to invest in next is some new chairs, because these babies, honey, they are killing that back. So hopefully that will be coming soon. But
Season 2.
Until next time, which I guess we can talk about what our next episode is going to be right now, can't we?
I think it's going to be something pretty in pink, if I'm not mistaken.
I feel like we can talk all about it, right? Let's spill the tea. So there is another diva, another legend, whose name is not Taylor Swift. Her name is Miss Barbie, and Barbie has been around for officially 65 years, everybody. This year, she is celebrating her 65th anniversary. So we're going to be doing a full Barbie episode next week, talking about all of Barbie's highs, lows, the discontinued Barbies, the controversial Barbies. We even are going to be getting some Barbie donuts from Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme, bitch!
And doing a literal live Barbie donut tasting here in full drag. It's going to be messy, but that's going to be next week. But I guess until then, where can they find us, Jimmy?
Until then, you can follow us and find everything pod related at fortheloveofdrag.com. Until next time, bye-bye.
Hasta la vista for now, Mother Tuckers.